Well, as you can see, time for Cinema Corner, and I'm the guest critic, I guess, for this episode. And Charles, of course, you know, you've been doing this for a while, so I'm just going to let you take the lead here, and I'll just make snarky comments.
I mean, that's what you do best, so.
That's generally right in my wheelhouse.
That's true. So how about we start with a little spy action?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so we have the new Mission Impossible.
Yes.
The Final Reckoning.
Yeah.
So this is supposedly the final installment in the Mission Impossible franchise. Whether you believe that or not is a whole nother story, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So in this one, Ethan Hunt is back and he reunites with his team to prevent the rogue AI known as the Entity from unleashing global destruction against humanity. Mm-hmm. You know, very realistic possibilities as we progress in the age of AI, I feel like.
Right.
So.
And is this his team that we're used to seeing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so like Cruz is back as Ethan Hunt. Haley Atwell's back. She was appeared in the 7th one.
Right.
We've got Ving Ramsey. Simon Pegg is back as Benji. Our big bad from the the 7th installment, Isai Morales is back. Okay. Palm Clemente and Angela Bassett also return. So filming-wise, 7 and 8 were originally supposed to be shot back-to-back.
Yes.
And honestly, it's a very good thing they didn't, because here's how long the production was for just the 8th one. So they started filming in March of 2022, went into 2023, delays because of the actor strikes and some other things, and then concluded in November of 24. So over 2 years of shooting.
I'm amazed it was edited.
I know, right?
Time to be out in 25.
I know, because November was 7 months ago, 6 months ago, like crazy fast turnaround. Now here are my opinions on this new one.
All right.
It's too long.
What?
It's too long. Okay, so to prepare for this, I watched all 7 Mission Impossibles because I had not watched them yet.
Get out.
And let me tell you, they get longer and longer as you go down the franchise. Okay. This one is like, not counting the credits, probably about 240. And here's also my thing with these Mission Impossibles. I mean, they are what they are. Yep. They're action heavy. That's what they're supposed to be. That's what you go for, the action.
That's why you're there.
Over the story. And in my opinion, personally, I could do without the 10-minute action chase sequence. You know, it could be a lot shorter, in my opinion. You know,
so you're saying some movies, they do need to be long. This one doesn't, in your opinion.
In my opinion, it's action over story.
Okay.
You know, it still has that story, but they're relying more on those long, crazy action takes. You know?
Okay.
And there was also a lot of, in my opinion, unnecessary flashbacks, which I would say is kind of Cruz's send-off, since this is supposed to be the final one. You know, we see flashbacks from all 7 movies.
Yeah, I have a feeling that you're not the only one who went back and watched all the other ones.
Right.
So you don't need the flashback.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's so true. And if you're a fan of the franchise, you remember all that stuff.
You got it together, yes.
I will say, with the buildup of now 8 movies, there's a lot of characters that are in this film. And I feel like there's some balancing issues with, you know, some characters just feel like they're not needed. You know, they're just there because they were introduced in another one, and they're just kind of flowing along with the story.
All right.
But unnecessary, you know? So I will say, I do applaud Tom Cruise very, very much for all of the crazy, amazing action stunts he has done in the 8 films.
He does them himself.
Because let me tell you, could not be me. I could not jump off a cliff on a motorcycle. I could not ride on the wing of a biplane. I could not run on a speeding train. Like,
I want to know what insurance company goes, yeah, we'll cover that.
Right? Well, it's true, because for Thunderbolts, in the opening credit, Florence Pugh's character jumps off the tallest building, second tallest building in the world.
Tallest, yes.
And they were originally not going to, they scrapped that because Disney was like, we're not paying for the insurance for that. And then Florence was able to talk them into it. So it's like, that's nothing compared to what Cruise does.
But he does it consistently.
Right.
Every one of his movies.
That's very true.
It really is incredible that he's lasted this long.
It is true. It's super crazy. And, you know, he says he's going to do it until he can't. So.
I'm amazed that he gets permission, not from the studios, but from, like, the buildings and stuff. Yeah, you can jump off our building.
Yeah, but at this point, it's kind of a bragging right. Be like, Tom Cruise was here and did this at this point, you know?
Yes.
So far for the film worldwide, it's made $204 million, but its budget is $400 million, which is crazy high, in my opinion. So we'll see if it actually tops that. Who knows? But, you know, go big or go home, right?
I think it's going to be staying up there for quite a bit.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, this was the first weekend, so
Yeah.
it'll be in theaters still for a month or so, at least. So moving on,
Okay.
let's go to Disney's live action.
Oh, I know which one that is.
So we have Lilo and Stitch.
Yes.
And if you've been living under the rock for the last 13 years since the original came out and don't know the story, it's about a lonely Hawaiian girl who befriends a runaway alien helping to mend her fragmented family.
A crazy runaway alien.
A crazy runaway alien. So this is one of my favorite Disney movies. Not the live action version, but like the original Lilo and Stitch.
Yes.
Absolutely love. Has always been one of my top favorites. So for this live action adaptation, we have our stars. We have introducing Mia Kealoha. I will say I think she was very good as Lilo.
Okay.
Sydney Elizabeth Agundong, Zach Galifianakis, Billy Magnuson, Courtney B. Vance, and then we have returning as the voice of Stitch, Chris Sanders. Thankfully, he returned. And in case you don't know who Chris Sanders is, he wrote and directed the 2002 animated film and voiced Stitch in that one too.
Okay, so it sounds the same.
Yes, it is the
Okay.
same. I did see that they had to do smaller sessions because as he's gotten older, it's harder for him to consistently keep that Stitch voice up, which is understandable, you know. So we do have some cameos and bigger than cameos of some of the original voice actors, though, in this film, too. So Tia Carrere voiced Nani. She has a role as the CPS agent in this film.
Okay.
Jason Scott Lee, he played the voice of David in the original. He has a little cameo. Yeah. And then Amy Hill, who played Mrs. Hasagawa, she actually has a pretty big role in the film. So.
No, I have to ask because I have not gone to see not one of the live action versions of the wonderful animated versions that Disney puts out. You've gone to see it, obviously. How does it compare, or should you not even try to compare?
Okay, so here's my opinions on this. With Lilo and Stitch being my biggest one, my most favorite movie, I went into this with low expectations, in all honesty.
Okay.
I was not expecting to really like it at all. I will say, I was pleasantly surprised. Still have some issues with it, but it's still a cute and enjoyable movie. There are some things that I would like change. Zach Galifianakis does not fit the voice of Jumbo whatsoever.
Okay.
Like,
that was a strange one to throw in.
Yeah.
When we're going through them.
Yeah.
Galifianakis?
Jumbo has that like Russian accent, you know, and
Yeah, it's like this.
yeah, and Zach Galifianakis is literally himself. They told him not to have an accent or anything, so it's like it just doesn't fit.
Okay.
Another thing.
That's a major character in Lilo and Stitch.
Right. Well, and another thing they did with this story, too, is Gantu's not in this one, and Jumba is the villain instead, which then just takes away from your possibility of this going off the sequels. Jumba's a big part of the Ohana theme going forward in the rest of the sequels in the series.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and Jumba's a really good comedic character in the original as well. And this one, he didn't have that comedic aspect as much, in my opinion, being the villain.
Okay.
Whereas Gantu, you know, the big dummy head. You gotta have the big dummy head.
The big dummy head.
Yeah, that's what Stitch and Lilo called him. So I will say, too, Jumba and Pleakley are in a human disguise most of the time. So it's kind of like, man, you don't get to see them as their alien form. And, you know, Pleakley just doesn't get to don the fabulous disguises that he does in the animated.
Well, yeah, but you know, as soon as you say live action, it's like, yeah, you mean they have a real Stitch out there or
Right.
something? It's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and so we talked about in Mission Impossible, Ving Rhames, he played Cobra Bubbles' original.
Yeah, okay.
So Cobra Bubbles in this one, they kind of took his character and divided it into two. They had Cobra Bubbles, but they also had a CPS agent instead of Cobra Bubbles being everything.
Yeah.
And so at that point, it kind of made Cobra Bubbles kind of irrelevant and forgettable, in my opinion. He didn't really add much to the story.
Why do they change things that were right the first time?
Exactly. It's a great question.
Yeah.
And I will say a spoiler alert real quick. So plug your ears if you don't want to hear it.
I'm probably not going to go see it.
The message of the film, the original, was Ohana.
Yes.
Family's everything.
That's it.
It does not feel like that in this one. Because, spoiler, I'll give you a second.
Okay.
Close your ears. At the end of the film, they change it. And Nani basically gives up custody of Lilo and goes off to college in the mainland. And it's like, that just defeats the whole purpose.
Wait a
That defeats the whole
minute.
purpose of the film. Exactly. See, I'm not the only one. So, I mean, it's still.
Then it's not Lilo and Stitch.
I know.
I'm sorry.
It's something.
There's a producer somewhere who should be shaking right now.
Right, exactly. So,
Wow, okay.
It will say, though, worldwide in this opening weekend, 341.7 million.
Sure.
Crazy high, in my opinion, in the first weekend. And the budget, only 100 million. Disney's cheapest live-action remake.
And, well, yeah, they changed the good stuff. But, you know, we'll see how it does going forward because those kind of endings don't make someone want to go, I need to see that again.
Right. Well, and Disney, even before it released this last weekend, were like in talks of maybe doing a sequel already. So the thing is, Lilo and Stitch in the last decade has become a very popular character.
Mm-hmm.
You see him on all kinds of merchandise. So they're really playing into that favoritism of Disney character and like the nostalgia of the original.
Okay.
And that can only take you so far. So it is about only 200 million away from being Disney's highest grossing live action remake, though. It's only behind Aladdin, The Jungle Book, Beauty and the Beast, and Lion King is #1.
Of course, they open at a good time. I mean, it's the summer blockbuster season.
Yeah, long weekend, too. So their next live action remake is supposed to be July of 2026 as Moana.
Oh, no.
Not too excited about that one either, especially with The Rock actually being Maui. So, yeah. So, moving on from Lilo and Stitch.
Okay.
We have Friendship. This is an R-rated black comedy. It follows Craig, a socially awkward marketing executive who yearns to be friends with his neighbor, a charismatic but unfulfilled weatherman. Oh. So this stars Tim Robinson, Paul Rudd, and Kate Mara.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, great cast.
Yep,
Honestly,
yep,
great
yep.
performances. Premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival this last September. Written and directed by Andrew DeYoung, and he said that the movie was actually inspired by his experience getting iced out of a friend group.
Oh.
So Tim Robinson really shines in this. He is so funny, and you will be secondhand embarrassed and cringe at so many things that he does in this film. It's like, oh, bud, no.
Is that part of the R rating?
Some of it, yes.
Okay.
Some of it, yes.
All right.
Rudd and Mara's performances, though, are just top-notch as well. You know, all three of them are great actors and their own rights, you know?
Yep.
So, good laughs. You want something fun, this is a good one to go watch, in all honesty.
That's good.
Right. And
sometimes you don't need I have to think about this. You just something fun. You can laugh, have popcorn, and a good time.
Great date night. Or even, you know, like I do. I go solo to the movies if you just want something to go watch by yourself.
There's nothing wrong with going solo to a movie.
That's so
Nobody bothers you then.
Exactly. So coming out this weekend, we have the new Karate Kid Legends. And this combines both of them, like the original and the 2010 remake with Jackie Chan. So Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio are in this one.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
So apparently it also takes place after Cobra Kai as well. But the film was written before the final season of Cobra Kai even came out, so I don't think there's actually much correlation story-wise with it.
Oh.
So we'll see.
It's timeline different, though.
I haven't seen the best reviews yet so far of the pre-screenings. So we will see. So, yeah.
Well, Jackie and Ralph are getting a little up there to be.
That's true.
But you never know.
You never know. For the horror fans, we also have Bring Her Back this weekend, and then Jane Austen Wrecked My Life. That's not a horror one, but.
No.
And then for streaming, today on Disney Plus, we have Captain America Brave New World.
Today?
Today, yes. Go home and watch that, Tom. I know you've been waiting.
I have.
You have.
Captain America, the first Avenger.
Yes. It's a good one. It's a good one.
I'll watch it.
So, and then this Saturday, we have a Max original called Mountainhead with Steve Carell and Jason Schwartzman.
That sounds good.
I think that one could be pretty good. So that's what we've got at the box office coming to streaming this week.
Great. So he's giving you all the scoop on everything that's out there. Now it's your choice. Go see it, or some things you can stay at home and stream as well.